got another story sent to me this morning. Well, as I said before, long-term marriages are not immune to infidelity. This story proves my point. This man literally walked in on a conversation between his wife and his best friend. I never imagined my best friend would betray me like that, much less my wife. It had been 16 years of marriage. I thought our love was unbreakable, but I was wrong. My wife and I have been together since high school, and although we had our ups and downs, I thought our bond was strong enough to last one evening. I came home early from work and I did not tell my wife and noticed something strange. My wife and my best friend were in the kitchen together and they were acting very suspicious. I could sense tension in the air and it made me feel uneasy. I decided to stay hidden in the hallway and listen in on their conversation. My suspicions were confirmed when I heard my wife say, "We have to be careful. If he finds out, he'll be devastated." I was stunned. My wife had been having an affair with my best friend and they were trying to keep it a secret from me. My heart ached as I processed what I had just heard. I wanted to confront them both, but I was too hurt to do it. I simply walked away and left the house. I drove around for hours trying to process my emotions. I felt betrayed and confused. I had spent 16 years with my wife and now she was cheating on me with my best friend. Eventually I went back home. When I arrived, my wife and my best friend were long gone. They had probably left shortly after I did. I was so angry that I decided to confront them both. I called my best friend and asked him to meet me at a cafe. When we met, I promptly told him I knew he was sleeping with my wife. I also told him that our friendship has come to an end. If he comes around my wife again, I will kill him. He got up and walked away. The next day I called my wife. She was apologetic and started to explain. But I stopped her. I told her that I had already hurt enough. I told her that I wanted a divorce and that she had 1 week to leave the house. She was shocked and started to cry. But I didn't care. I had been hurt. I was devastated by my wife's infidelity. I had spent 16 years with her. So the betrayal felt like a knife in my heart. I spent the next few days trying to come to terms with the situation, but it was hard. I eventually decided that I needed to move on. I made an appointment with the lawyer to discuss the divorce process and started to look for a new place to live. I didn't want to be in the house anymore, even though I told her to leave. I just wanted out. My lawyer told me here in Maryland, which is a no-fault and fault-based divorce state, that I can file on grounds of infidelity. But I need proof. I was still struggling to process my emotions, but I was determined to start fresh. The only good thing about this is we don't have any kids together. I do have kids, but not with her. I hated that I had to confer with my soon-to-be ex-wife about the house, but I had to because she was on the deed. The most amazing thing that happened is the house was sold before our divorce hearing. I split the proceeds with her, but I wasn't giving her anything else. And yes, she was trying to get alimony at the divorce hearing. My lawyer presented my case. He also said that the biggest asset that we owned together was sold. My wife's lawyer just came out and said that there was no proof of infidelity with my best friend. Her attorney also said that my wife was requesting marriage counseling. My attorney and I were against it. But the judge wanted us to try marriage counseling for a month. Trust me, I left that courtroom mad as hell. So the court referred us to a marriage counselor and my wife seemed like she was overjoyed, but I was not. I had already found a place to live and I did not know where my wife was staying. So our first marriage counseling session was 3 days away. In those 3 days, the money I made from the sale of the house I conferred with and hired a private investigator. Well, as it turns out, my soon-to-be ex-wife was staying with one of her longtime friends and she was leaving work, going home and then meeting up with my ex-best friend. This went on for about 3 weeks and my private investigator got everything. I forwarded everything to my attorney. Meanwhile, we are still going to marriage counseling and I pretend that I want to reconcile, but I haven't slept with her, so fast forward another month, the divorce hearing is rescheduled and my soon-to-be ex-wife gets notice of that and calls me and wonders why they have rescheduled the divorce hearing. I simply said they probably want to see how the marriage counseling sessions are progressing. That's what I think it is. She has no idea. I got everything she was doing pretty much after the first divorce hearing. Well, that day is here when my attorney presented the evidence of her infidelity with my ex-best friend. Even after the first divorce hearing, she was blown away. She started crying, but her attorney still tried to get alimony but was unsuccessful. The judge granted my divorce on the basis of her infidelity. 3 weeks after the divorce, I learned that my ex-best friend was arrested for a DUI. He also had a fiancée that my ex-wife didn't know about. After that transpired, my ex-wife tried for 1 solid month to try and get back together with me. I turned her down each time my ex-best friend's fiancé found out he was cheating with my ex-wife and kicked him out of her house. The footage I got from the private investigator. I showed my friends, my family and some of her friends and family. They all thought I should give her another chance and wonder why I threw away 16 years so easily. Well, after I sent them the footage, they all thought differently, especially after the first divorce hearing when we were ordered to try marriage counseling for a month. And she was still seeing my ex-best friend even after the first hearing. Well, in my opinion, this is sad. This woman portrayed like she wanted to try to reconcile with her husband, but she was still seeing this guy even doing the marriage counseling sessions. Played it cool. In my opinion, he distracted her while he had a private investigator surveilling her. That was a good